We are live, episode 57, Lost in the Shuffle. It is the MLB trade deadline episode. It's me, Peter, from Sheffield Shuffler, and we got my buddy John LaLoggia. We are here streaming from the Sheffield Shuffler Twitter and the Playmaker Betting Twitter. John, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Dude, this is big time.
Yeah, we got a new audience. We got the Playmaker betting audience. So we are going to be streaming on this moving forward. My account, we can put your account, Playmaker betting. So it's great stuff. I'm very excited. You got a new studio too. You got a new house, new studio.
We did, yes. We're leveling up. Playmaker has very strong demands about you having a stellar office, and we went through like 50 episodes, but I finally got one. So yeah, my wife and my 1-year-old son, doing dad stuff. Got a house in the suburbs. Left the city of Chicago, so we're in the burbs. Which is definitely more boring. However, I am appreciative that I got an office back, which I used to have when my son took it over. So set it up finally in my new office. Haven't fully set up everything, like hung everything, but in a good spot. So I'm feeling pretty good as opposed to working from the corner of our bedroom.
Well, I'm sure it's hard to get shit done today when it's been craziness going on. First, and obviously, it's the deadline today. Deadline ended an hour and 42 minutes ago.
But before we get into deadline stuff, you went to the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby and All-Star game, correct, in Los Angeles?
I did. I was there in person.
First of all, that's incredible. Second of all,
thank you, Playmaker.
Thank you to Playmaker. I've seen your content, obviously, but that's not what I want to talk about because everyone saw your content. I want to talk about your experience there. So, talk to me about your going to LAX, which is an experience, and navigating that parking lot at Dodger Stadium, which I lived in LA for 2 years, and it's insane. It's crazy. I was there for the NLCS games 1 and 2. In 2017 for Cubs Dodgers. Justin Turner hit a walk-off home run off of John Lackey in game 2. No joke. It took us 2.5 hours to get out of the parking lot.
It's the biggest parking lot I've seen in my life.
It's huge. Well, it's because everybody drives in LA. No one takes public transportation except people who are insane, which I took it a couple times. Big mistake. Do not do that. Yeah. I'd advise you to Uber, or if you have a car, definitely do that. So walk me through. You get into LAX. Walk me through what happened and your experience.
So first thing, I don't call an Uber because I don't know where I'm going to get picked up at. So I don't even go that route. I say screw it. So I follow the crowd, go outside, get into a taxi line, get into the taxi line, wait my turn. Easy enough. Give him my hotel, right? It seemed like a young guy. I was like, can I sit up front with you? I usually sit up front if they're like, I want to get some information, don't know this stuff. So we sit up front. It's probably a 25-minute drive. Had no idea how close that airport is to Inglewood. Know nothing about California, but I know Inglewood, not a good area. And so we
all know that from the rap song, Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood.
Yes, or the one of the best trilogies in cinema, Friday.
Rancho Cucamonga, right?
Rancho Cucamonga, Inglewood, yes. So I get in there, I get the down low, like, hey, where am I at? These areas, like what my avoid here is like, yeah, you don't want to hang out around here. Some people get an Uber or a taxi from the airport to their hotel down the street because it's that shady. Then we get to downtown LA, which is the shithole of America. Honestly, I refuse to let anybody talk about how great LA is proper. LA proper, not talking about the beach.
LA is great. Hollywood's awesome, but downtown LA, it's different than downtown Chicago. Downtown LA smells like hot piss.
I said
That's
it's
literally what it smells like.
The equivalent of Gotham City if Batman never came. That's what it was like. Every street corner, there's shady, shifty characters hanging out. You see some of the weirdest shit going on from people in the streets, and everyone acts like it's completely normal, which is even more strange. Go to a Starbucks, I'm trying to do some work, get on a phone call, and the woman walks in screaming on the top of her lungs. Nobody does anything. Everyone just kind of sits there, which ipso facto makes me makes me believe I was correct in saying West Coast people soft, East Coast people a lot harder than them because they just sit there and act and they're just like, oh, please don't say anything. If you're on the East Coast, you're in New York or Jersey or someone would be like, oh, shut your fucking mouth. Someone would say something, but on the West Coast in LA, everyone doesn't do that kind of stuff. So yeah, weird little downtown area. Won't be like around there again. I'm sure that the surrounding areas are great though. But that's just, I was there for like 5 minutes. Then I walked through, John, the draft day. So it was like a Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
The draft was Friday or was Saturday, one of the days, something like that, or Sunday. And maybe it was Sunday because the thing was Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, so it was Sunday.
Draft day was Sunday.
Sunday.
Home run derby was Monday. All-Star game Tuesday.
So the draft day, so cool, John. They set up by like the convention center.
I saw you there. The convention center is sweet. I've been there.
So cool. It's the convention center was very cool, and that was like in the back. But they had a whole street. It was like a street fest, lined up with the barricades and everything was like set up, and they had the stage and they had events. They had little tents. We saw like Carabas and
Dallas Braden.
The Dallas Braden wasn't there, but the guy that I had on this podcast, Stevie Bukes, Steve Buchanan, he's on MLB Network.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. They were kind of just like commentating the Yankees Red Sox game, which was really cool. A lot of like beer tents and stuff like that. So they did a very good job, like promoting everything. Kind of there was like music playing. It was really, really fun. That was a really cool experience. And then got to see the draft. Talked to Marlins Man for a while. Marlins Man was out there.
Isn't he a lawyer?
He is. That's what I heard.
How does he make his money? I feel like I watched an HBO Real Sports on him, but I thought one, I thought he was a lawyer, and then two, I'm just confused as how that guy like makes a living just going to different stadiums wearing his Marlins jersey.
I mean, I don't know how litigation works or lawyer.
What's his deal? He's just trying to promote the Marlins.
I think he's just like a public figure, figure. He wants to be affiliated with a team, and he got really butthurt when Derek Jeter and the Marlins didn't invite him to like fanfare night or day, whatever it was.
30 teams. Why did he pick the worst team to affiliate himself with? There's plenty of other teams he could have done.
No other team has a bright orange jersey. Maybe that's why.
Okay.
So it was awesome. It was electric. Home run derby, high energy. Julio Rodriguez was incredible. He put on a show. It was such a shame that he didn't win it because he put on an absolute show.
I was definitely rooting for him. I mean, him and Soto's age, like when you just think about it, it's ridiculous. Also, to think that Soto was 20 in 2019 when he helped the Nationals win the World Series, that's ridiculous. Hitting in the middle, like the prime hitter in that lineup, and he's 20. It's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then he went on to win the Derby, and then All-Star Game was sick.
He also won today too. He won the trade deadline.
He did. Everything was incredibly
Everything's
expensive
coming up to him, yeah.
But yeah, so that was a great trip. And then I'm actually leaving for Miami on Thursday.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Miami, going to go to Playmaker headquarters, going to go meet some of the team. We're going to get some work done. We're going to get some skits. I believe they might have a studio. So me and my guy James, I think we're going to do some skits. We got some content planned out, and then hopefully have some fun later at night. I know the Marlins aren't in town, but I don't know. So, get like a nice little work trip.
Sweet, dude. That's awesome. Hit up Marlins Man while you're down there.
I know. I got some videos with them, which were so fun.
Sweet.
But, John, the big news that happened today, obviously, is the trade deadline. So how would you rank today, John, in regards to past trade deadlines? This one's got to be up there, right?
Yeah, this was especially for a trade deadline that a lot of people were saying it's going to be pretty boring and nothing's really going to happen. Like, it was the complete opposite. Like, a ton of stuff happened. And not only that, like, huge names. So obviously Juan Soto goes to the Padres. Juan Soto and Josh Bell go to the Padres. Tim Kirkshin on ESPN said it was like one of the biggest trades in like MLB history. Like, it was just a monumental, huge shift in trade. And the Padres this year, as opposed to the last couple of years, feel very kind of under the radar or dormant. I feel like everyone has been asleep on San Diego and in general when Tatis went down. I feel like Tatis Jr. went down and everyone completely tuned out and lost, I feel like, a lot of interest in the Padres. And now in the last 6 to 8 hours, it's completely back because I feel AJ Preller is banking on like, hey, we're going to get Tatis Jr. back. And when we do, we're going to really be able to compete. So it's a massive, massive move to get Juan Soto. People are calling like the next Ted Williams. Like, he is unbelievably talented and such a disciplined and professional hitter at age 23. And not only that, they get Josh Bell, who's a really good first baseman, Brandon Drury. And by the way, Josh Hader, who, aside from 2 poor back-to-back outings with the Brewers, has been incredible this year and arguably the best closer in the last 4 or 5 years, like unhittable. I don't know what Craig Counsell is going to do. His whole managerial strategy for Milwaukee is just getting a 1-run lead and then putting him in the game. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
Manny Machado.
Yeah. So that lineup I texted you earlier is insane. Cronenworth, Machado, Soto. It should be noted, Eric Hosmer almost didn't let this happen. And then they basically said, we're going to push this trade through no matter what. Because I guess he had Washington on
a no-trade clause.
A no-trade clause. He's like, I'm not going to play Washington. So,
okay. So, John, can we touch on that real quick and then we can keep going?
Cool.
Imagine you tell your job, hey, I can't work on Saturdays because, I have to go pick my kid up. Like we have our schedule. Hey, Pete, I can't record at X time because I have to go pick my kid up, whatever. And then I call you today, John, we're recording, 2:00 in the afternoon. You're like, I told you I can't do that. So I heard that his wife is expecting a child pretty soon too. And he's like, one of the teams that he didn't want to do was, move his family across the country to Washington or Virginia or wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah, but he goes to the Red Sox.
But he does. That is correct. But I mean, that's his choice for whatever reason. You could say, imagine that your job, like I can't work Fridays. Okay, fine. And then they just go ahead and tell you, oh, you're scheduled for Friday. No, dude, I told you I'm not. So I'm in his side. He actually has that right to turn that shit down. So I think that's funny.
I think, yeah, for sure. But also, like, these people, they're not real people. They're not like us. I mean, I was reading on Twitter. So San Diego will be paying down a significant portion of the $44 million or so remaining of Eric Hosmer's contract. So, Machado got a $300 million deal. Like, these people, this isn't real. You know what I mean? So, like, of the ridiculous amount of money that these people make, of course they can make demands of be like, I don't want to do that. And I'm not going here. Of course, like, they're not real people. They're multimillionaires, and basic rules that apply to regular people like you and I don't apply to them.
We're regular?
Unfortunately, dude. We are so regular. Two white dudes doing a podcast? Yeah.
Wait, there's more of us?
This is about as basic as you can get in 2022.
You're saying there's more than 2 white guys who have a podcast?
I mean, we have the best one, obviously. But something tells me a few other dudes are, recapping the trade deadline. Now, obviously, not as well as us, and certainly not for Playmaker. Shut up.
Yeah, they're not backed by Playmaker. John, I think one of the brilliant things, too, also in this trade, Juan Soto controlled for 2 years after this season as well.
Huge.
So he doesn't become an unrestricted free agent until 2025. So you don't have to do anything. They acquired him, and now they have him for the rest of this season and 2 more seasons following that. So that window has been created, right? That window of winning, you would say, has been created. Doesn't say we have to sign him to a large contract after that, but for these next 3 years, the rest of this one and 2 seasons, we have him. We have, they got Hader. Like, we have that whole team. So that window has been created in my eyes, and that's what they're going after.
Here's the thing. If San Diego doesn't win, if they cannot win, if they can't get over the Dodgers, which, by the way, have the best record in baseball, like, they're just incredible, and they're getting all of their pitching back real soon, who are just going to be amazing. This is not on the front office and AJ Preller. Like, that dude has been making moves like a boss, like, literally. Like, no one has been more aggressive, and within their window has been aggressive and has made the necessary moves to try to win. The owner's aggressive, AJ Preller's aggressive, and you have to give him credit for that. And if they don't win, that's not on the front office. That's on the players, frankly. You look in Chicago. Chicago has a very talented team. They have a manager who's asleep at the wheel, literally.
Yeah.
It's but they've made no moves. They've made absolutely no aggressive moves to compete with the Twins.
And
And
you're
they need
supposed
to.
and you're
they
supposed
need
to be the best team in that division,
And
right?
this is their window. Like the Padres' window is now. AJ Preller is making the most of it. The White Sox window is now, and they're doing the opposite. They're making no moves, and they have a manager who is literally falling asleep as the game is going on in the bottom of the first inning.
Was that not a pitiful picture, right? You are a team who's scuffling or doing terrible in your division. What are they, third in the division?
Yes, not far behind Cleveland and Minnesota.
So you're third in your division. You were a favorite coming into the season. You have a manager who is falling asleep in the bottom of the first inning, caught on TV, dozing off. It was just a pitiful sight. Like, man, you guys are in bad shape. And then, like you said, making no moves today, no moves to help your team, getting, not doing anything aggressive to get better within the division either. And you saw what happened with Minnesota too. Tyler Mahle and Jorge, what's his name? They got two arms.
Who are you talking about?
The Twins. Jorge Lopez, right? Jorge Lopez and Tyler Mahle both go. So now the team that you're competing with just got better, and you haven't done shit.
Yeah, of course. I think the White Sox are giving up. I think their owner wants this manager, and he's not a good culture fit. Not that old is a bad thing, but he doesn't know the rules. He's falling asleep during games. Like, how many signs do you need to give? Do you need to have to be like, hey, this isn't working out? He's underperforming. Everyone doesn't like him. The players don't like him. The media doesn't like him. The broadcasters don't like him. He's made so many questionable moves, not knowing the rules, not being a good culture fit, taking a young, diverse, fun team and getting an old, crotchety manager has several DUIs and isn't the best, leader for that team, and trying to right the ship. It hasn't worked out, and now he's falling asleep during games. And if he won't be let go now, it's never gonna happen. I mean, no. He literally fell asleep on the job. He's underperforming, and nobody likes him. Mm-hmm. But the owner, the one person that matters, is the owner who does like him and made the executive decision to put him in that seat. And it sucks. White Sox fans, I'm in Chicago. They feel like they're being held hostage by this guy who's just constantly ruining a golden opportunity that they have with so many great and talented players, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and they acquired some arms earlier before this, like when they got Joe Kelly, they got Craig Kimbrell from the Cubs. Like, you feel like, hey, we're stacking up some arms over here. We have a lot of young bats, and nothing's really panning out over there.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man.
But speaking of arms, looks like the NL East has stacked up some arms as well. So obviously, in my opinion, I think relief pitching is your biggest asset going into the postseason. You can't have enough relief arms. But a couple moves I saw today in the NL East, which I think is going to be one of the most exciting races.
Phillies made some big moves. Big time.
Raciel Iglesias from the Angels goes to the Braves. Braves stacking more arms, who already have a brilliant bullpen. Michael Givens coming from the Cubs to the Mets. Mets, with Edwin Diaz. Now you got Michael Givens in there. David Robertson from the Cubs goes to the Phillies.
Huge.
So, yeah, that's a great arm. So that NL East bolstering their relief pitchers.
And the Phillies got Syndergaard, right?
The Phillies did get Syndergaard. So I think those implications are because what I'm thinking, obviously we know the Mets are the better team right now. Phillies kind of on the borderline, but they had a falling out, Syndergaard and the Mets. Remember when he left the Mets to go to the Angels, and he's like, whoa, blah, blah, blah. He's talking a lot of shit. Now he comes back within the division to a rival like the Phillies. So I'm excited to see him, like, I'm going to fucking haunt you this postseason. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, of course.
it's going to
And
be close. Yeah.
getting out of Anaheim, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, I bet he was like, please get me out of here. Like, it's like, I feel like Anaheim's purgatory. You're just like, it's not great, but it's not bad, but nothing's happening. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Basically.
So yes, NL East made some moves here. There were some players that
Joey Gallo to the Dodgers, which
oh my gosh.
Yankee fans are like, it's like Christmas. Like, go on Yankees Twitter.
Yeah.
But just for if anyone doesn't know, the Yankees fans hate, and I mean hate, Joey Gallo. If it's
They
the
have
one
every
thing
right to.
they want, yeah. If it was the one thing they wanted, that they wanted at the trade deadline was him to be moved, and he was moved to the Dodgers, and Yankee fans literally are like throwing a massive party on Twitter, and they couldn't be happier because they have such disdain for Joey Gallo, who has been terrible, has been absolutely terrible for them. So it's interesting. One theory I saw on Yankees Twitter was obviously they don't like him, but because it's such a short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium, that it's kind of psyching him out. Like, be like, it's right there for you, and he's just pressing, and he's not doing well. And so the theory is, if he gets a change of scenery to a different ballpark, he might turn him around. But that was kind of the theory of why. Also, it could be because he sucks. I mean, that's another viable option.
I saw somebody arguing. It was like one of those old fucking crotchety columnists, and they were saying, so is Joey Gallo? He needs a change of scenery? Is he going to be able to thrive in L.A.? And he was like, yes, yeah, he's going to thrive in L.A. All he needed was a change of scenery. And so what? So now, I mean, I understand that that's definitely a true thing. But what do you see in Joey Gallo that says he got a new scenery by going to the Yankees? What's going to change if he's going to LA? Because he hits lower in the lineup maybe and starts seeing a little better pitch. I mean, what makes you believe that?
I'm with you. Baseball's weird. Sometimes someone sucks and then they go to a different team. I mean, it is a real thing. We've seen it several times. Sometimes someone isn't good and then they go to another team in a different city on a different team and they are better for no reason. I think they're saying that because that is a real thing. We've seen that in the past with people that have, like, they get off the scrap heap. You're like, that guy sucks. Then they have a miraculous, like Steve Pearce a few years ago for the Red Sox. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's just like hitting home runs. You're like, what? Like, why? Like, why was this happening?
John,
I mean, Patrick Wisdom for the Cardinals. Like, they're
Cubs.
probably watching him now and be like, wow, he sucked with us. Like, now he's hitting home runs all the time with the Cubs. Like,
Joey Gallo has 37 hits this season and 106 strikeouts. Yeah. So more strikeouts. I mean, he almost has that every year too, which is
right. But I
terrible.
mean, but they're hoping. I mean, you look at his time in Texas. It's like, okay, this guy's going to strike out a ton, walk, and hit home runs. Like, and we'll take it as long as he's hitting home runs. But he's not. And then you take a guy like Matt Carpenter, who they got from the Cardinals, who people thought he was done, and he's killing it. He's been incredible. He's I picked him up on my fantasy team. He's awesome. He plays like 4 positions, according to fantasy, which is very versatile. But he's been incredible. And talk about really using the short porch to his advantage. He's got a pull uppercut swing, and they're just like, dude, just keep swinging for the fences, and that's what he's doing, and he's killing it.
Yeah,
and a sweet mustache, dude. Probably the best mustache on the team.
It's a fireman mustache through and through.
It's fucking awesome. Yeah. That is a great mustache.
It wouldn't be porn star. It's not a porn star stash. It is strictly fireman stash. It's got the depth. It's got the width. Perfect for a fireman stash.
And it's also because, like, he has no batting gloves. He's just got the Navy tape. Just looks awesome.
So cool. And he's got the Mario and Luigi look with him and Nestor.
Something that should be noted, another move, Cardinals acquired left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery from the Yankees in exchange for Bader. So Bader goes to the Yankees and Montgomery goes to the Cardinals. So that is a trade that helps that is so helpful for both teams. Like Aaron Hicks is a liability in the outfield. You can move, Judge can play center, but you can put Judge in right. You put
And
Bader
that's
there. There's so
an
many other
advantage for
options.
Judge as well. You don't want Judge playing center every day. 100%. So now he can,
because then you have to have Carpenter playing right. And if you've seen Carpenter play right field, like he has no arm. I mean, it's so bad. You really just want him to DH if you can, or play first.
So it covers that issue that they had in center field. So now you got Harrison Bader, who's a great defensive center fielder.
And can fly, gives them a lot more speed, which they don't really have a ton. They don't have a ton of speed. So that is such a huge – dude, you talk about like who won the trade deadline, like Yankees and then Padres. Like collectively, what the Yankees got and what they got rid of is pretty impressive.
That's interesting too, because you say Jordan Montgomery left the Yankees to go to the Cardinals. Jordan Montgomery probably doesn't make the postseason roster as a starter. You know what I mean? He's not starting in the postseason.
Well, they're so stacked and they have so many good pitchers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even make the roster. Now he goes to a team like the Cardinals who are going to rely on him. They're going to rely on him. They also got Quintana too. So then they got two lefty pitchers that they stacked up for postseason run. Two lefty pitchers, which is huge. So they got Quintana and Jordan Montgomery, who probably doesn't make the roster in New York. And now he's going to play a big part in that, which I think is pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah, that's amazing.
How about schmucks who didn't make any moves? Chicago Cubs, these guys. Wilson Contreras thought he was going to be a premier piece. Obviously, Juan Soto was the big name. But as far as there was a lot of teams looking for catcher help. We talked about it.
You talked about it. You thought he was going to go to the Astros.
The
and
Rays.
He didn't. They got Christian Vasquez. Which
how did you see that interview when he was caught in the middle? I felt so bad for him, man. I mean, you feel bad enough for a multimillionaire, but like you're playing against a team, you're coming out of batting practice, and everyone starts swarming you, and they tell you, it's like if your friend, told you like, hey man, your girlfriend's cheating on you. How do you feel? And you're like, what?
But you're being filmed, so it's like in real time. You're like, oh man, But like he kind of knew this was going to happen, so you could totally brace yourself for it. But the fact that it's caught in real time on camera, like there's no hiding those emotions in the moment. And yeah,
he was caught so off guard.
Sure.
It was like hard for it to come out of his mouth. He's like,
well, he had been with them for a long time. I mean, how many years was he with Boston?
Many,
quite a few.
Yeah,
but Houston's awesome. They're great.
So how dumb is this, John? How dumb is it? Like we said, we're talking about Contreras. There was a lot of teams who needed catcher's help. So now you're the Cubs and you don't move him. You don't move him and you don't move Happ. Okay, I'm okay with Ian Happ because then he comes back next season as a starter in the outfield. Fine. Wilson Contreras, what are you doing with him? Now you have to offer him a qualifying offer, right? Or else you get a compensatory pick that he's attached to, or you know what I'm talking about? What's it called?
Compensatory pick?
Is that what it is?
Or qualifying offer? What are you talking about?
From a qualifying offer, there's a pick that's attached to it. So, I'm trying to find this fucking name here. Qualifying offer.
He's going to be a pain in the ass to negotiate with. I feel like Jed's not going to want to pay him what he wants. I feel like he'd be much more apt to pay Ian Happ than he would Contreras. I think Contreras is going to want a lot of money, and I don't think the Cubs are going to give it to him. I think Happ will want a decent amount of money, and I think the Cubs will give it to him because he's gotten better every year. He's showing he's steadily improved, and he's getting a little better at that high fastball, even though sometimes he still gets out on it. But I think Contreras is going to want massive money, and I don't think the Cubs are going to give it to him.
That's what it's called. So if it's going to be a pain in the ass, why don't you move him? The offers couldn't have been that bad. John, you hear that audio? It's exploding. I think your mic came out. Yeah. It was super loud. No. Try it again. It's super scratchy. It's live television, people. I'll just take it off mute. I think you just got to take it off mute.
We good?
Yes. Did you not hear that?
No.
Holy shit, that was loud. It scared the shit out of me. It was like.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Anyway, but yeah, so what's the point of keeping him then if you're not going to give him a qualifying offer, he probably doesn't take it, and then he's going to walk away for nothing?
I don't think they care. I mean, they're so
you have
not
to
ready.
care. That's a huge piece. Well, you get nothing for him then.
I don't think they think he's going to be a part of the next wave, the next run. I don't think they think he's going to be a part of that. Yeah. I think they still view him as the old guard. They're not even remotely able to contend right now with the Brewers, certainly not the Cardinals. So, I mean, they unloaded all their best players from 2016 last year. They got rid of Scott Efros, gave him to the Yankees, I believe. So they're just like, whatever, like, we're rebuilding. We want prospects. And I think they tried to move him, and I just think they didn't get the prospects that they wanted. And they're like, "Well, forget it. Then we're not doing it."
Yeah. Sorry.
What's up with your dog?
Yeah, I don't know. My wife took him out and he freaked the fuck out. Melissa, put the shot collar on him. Dude, he's 70 pounds of pure muscle.
What kind of dog do you have?
German Shepherd.
Oh shit, dude. They don't fuck around.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I mean, he's a great guard dog, but
oh god, yeah. And they're super smart.
Yeah, he's very smart. But as soon as you walk out the door, if there's someone out there, dude, yeah, I mean, he goes nuts. He's very intimidating. He's very good in our house by ourselves, but yeah, outside of that, he's pretty ferocious sounding.
Yapes.
Speaking of German Shepherds, how about this Deshaun Watson case?
Dude, well, disappointing, but also, as we've learned in America, if you can make a lot of money for someone, people will help you out. You will get breaks. And Deshaun, and in sports, if you can still play, if you are still effective, and he is very good at the most important position, maybe in all of sports, that he got suspended for 6 games when he arguably should have got suspended for the entire year, or maybe, just maybe, shouldn't be allowed to play fucking football because he, sexually assaulted, 35 massage therapists. Just kind of gross stuff. And
predatory stuff.
And also too, like, he didn't want to use masseuses by the team. He solicited them individually, and so sought them out.
Right.
Obviously premeditated, obviously gross. So he got suspended for 6 games. What is crazy to think about is when he got signed by the Cleveland Browns. So $230 million contract. And I think a massive amount of that contract, or a substantially large portion of that, was guaranteed money, which is the signing bonus, which is the only guaranteed money you get in the NFL is your signing bonus. Mm-hmm. $230 million. So amidst all of this controversy, and I don't know who did this, but whoever did this is a fucking genius. The way they structured his contract, and I might have mentioned this before on a previous pod, they gave him a salary for 2022-23 season of $1 million. Okay. Mm. So $229 million is after this season. Right. And they did that because they knew charges were going to be brought against him. And there was a good case. There was a really good chance, obviously, that he was going to have to pay money to these people to settle, which he's settled some, but also that if he gets suspended for a certain amount of games, that's lost paychecks. So because they structured his and they knew it would happen this year because there were lawsuits against him. This would never, this was happening. So because he got suspended this year 6 games. That is a total of $330,000 that he will lose in game checks. 6 games, but again, because it's what his salary this year is $1 million. So all of that $229 million is completely fine and untouched. So he won big in this situation. They had an outside third-party judge rule on this who was a woman. And she basically said, she was like, this guy, it's predatory behavior. It's terrible. But legally, I don't know. I really don't know the particulars of that much of the legal system, but legally, this is all we can really do as far as like, consequences, which is fucking crazy. But he won in this situation. It's not even close. No repercussions, no financial repercussions because of the way they structured his contract, which is crazy.
It's really not surprising that he got a happy ending to all this,
Well played.
The thing that really grinds my gears is when I was listening, like I told you earlier, Kyle Brandt brought it up, and a lot of the language in the statements and things like that for the reason of the explanation for the punishment was it is non-violent sexual assault. So that's just like, so what? Non-violent sexual assault. That's just so like he was saying, like Kyle Brandt was saying, is gross. Just so what does that mean? So now it's implicit sexual assault. So now you're just implicating violence, which is almost worse because you are such have a stature in the community. You are a millionaire. You are a male talking to a woman. So that's part of the reason why it's non-violent. That makes no sense. I get it. Like if it comes down to drugs, you're a non-violent drug offender, but not in sexual assault. It's like just so dumb and gross that they divide those two into like two separate categories,
Yeah, for sure. Which is also crazy too, because when he stepped on the field for training camp, they were cheering him. They were like overjoyed.
Yeah.
And I love football. I do. But if I was a fan, let's say Aaron Rodgers didn't exist and he was the new quarterback of the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
I would not root for that fucking guy.
I think
like,
it's just
I couldn't. And I love football and I want my team to win more than anything. I couldn't do it. What are they going to say? The fans to Cleveland, all the female fans, like, do they just not give a shit? I don't understand how they could cheer.
I was watching a stand-up comedian and he was playing in Cleveland and he's like, oh, talk about Deshaun Watson. And the crowd started clapping. They were like, yeah, they don't give a shit. They don't. Then that's terrible and totally wrong. But my reasoning, I think, is because
I don't get it.
So shitty for so long. They've been through how many quarterbacks in the last 2 decades? Over 20 quarterbacks in the last 20 years. Over 20. That's so that's almost over a new quarterback every season. So now you get one who's actually good, and you kind of just wipe away everything that he did and that bothers you. So that's the only rationale I can come up with is they've sucked for so long that they can look over non-violent sexual assault because he's a good quarterback.
God,
it's brutal.
I mean, I guess, but dude, it's so gross and it's so many and it's so obvious he's at fault. Like it's just
blatant.
It's the evidence is overwhelming. I guess just people don't give a shit. They're like, you know what? I'm busy and I want to be entertained and I want my team to be good and this guy's going to help. And there's a lot of shitty players in professional sports in the NFL and he's just another one. And, on Sundays when I tune into the Browns, like I want them to win and he gives us the best chance to win. That can be it. But I just, and we talk about this too, like, can you separate the art from the artist? And
right.
I think it's no different with like comedians we like who've done unsavory things and
weird stuff,
and filmmakers who I like are gross, in private or their personal life. So I guess it's no different, but
it reminds me of a documentary I just watched on Netflix called The Most Hated Man on the Internet. Have you seen that?
People keep talking about that. Is it good?
Yeah, it has to do with like you talked about, like the depravity of the human race. This guy, I don't remember this. He created a website called areyouup.com. And it was
Isn't it just you up,
um
or is it are you up? Like the text you.
you wait, are you awake? Are you up? I think something like
Okay.
that. Basically, it's a user submitted website where people can send in nude photos of ex girlfriends. Like he was the king of like revenge porn. So you would have people send in nude photos of their exes or whatever. He'd put them up on his site and people would comment. And he was like really disgusting and just like a dirtbag on Twitter and stuff. I mean, ultimate douchebag. Do you see some of this video? And he's in a club and he's like, "It's me, Hunter. I'm fucking all your girlfriends." And he's just like, "Oh my God, you are such just scumbag." And people loved him. They called him father. They were like, "He's the best. We'll do anything for him." Like he had like a real cult following. Just so weird. So back to the point how that relates to Deshaun Watson. You can be a gross, disgusting person and people will still like you could be still highly revered among certain circles.
Yeah, and I guess so he's going to be suspended for 6 games, but what happens if they're still not good?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's when they turn on you
100%, dude.
because they have a
Like,
good reason to,
oh my
the
God,
best reason to.
dude, he's going to be playing his ass off, and
You know, if
he better win. Like I don't think he can lose. I don't think he can lose consecutive games.
they don't have much of a choice outside of your mic went out again.
Mother.
So ahead. Nope, I heard it. You're back.
Oh,
You're back.
You good?
Yep.
Who's their quarterback?
Who they have? Jacoby Brissett.
Ugh. That's probably they were like, dude, we need this guy. We have Jacoby Brissett and no Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he's on the Browns. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett's a backup. So good luck with that.
As long as we're staying with NFL, how do you feel about your Chicago Bears?
Not good. I know you said there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm not expecting anything. They're going to be one of the worst teams. I think they were projected 4.5 wins, so very low. I don't know if you know, but there's 17 games in a season, so very low. Not expecting much, but you know what? I'm also a born again Eagles fan because now I live right outside of Philly. My whole like my wife's family, Eagles fan. So I've started to adopt that. I've been
You've adopted the Phillies. Why not the Eagles?
I've been baptized in the au jus of the Philly cheesesteak. So I actually had a Fanatics. Fanatics reached out to me. I'm going to make a TikTok for them, and they're sending me a free jersey from Fanatics. So I picked Jason Kelce. So I'm going to get a nice Eagles Jason Kelce jersey. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, that's going to be the other team that I lean on in the NFC least, which they actually have a decent shot at winning. So yeah, not excited for the Bears. Still going to watch them every Sunday. You know, I still got all my Bears gear and they're my number one team, but it's hard to watch a team when you know it's just going to be a dumpster fire.
I know. But, you know, on the flip side for me, the Green Bay Packers, which is my team, man, I know we're going to be good.
Yeah.
I just know it because our quarterback's really, really good. And he's just amazing. And it's such a, like, I'm getting excited about training camp now that he's in camp. He just did this long interview with Steve Mariucci on NFL Network, and he's talking about the young receivers. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm ready for week 1 now. But because we have a competent front office, like we know how to draft, we know how to develop, because we can't get big time free agents. Who the hell wants to come to Green Bay, Wisconsin? And
do you like LaFleur? I do. Said Peter LaFleur. You do like him.
Peter LaFleur. Yeah, I do like LaFleur a lot. Here's why I like LaFleur. In past, like, I'll use Mike McCarthy as an example. I like my coaches kind of uptight, detail oriented, and then I like my players loose. It's a really, really good combination. It's a nice yin and yang, you know? And I feel like Brady is attention to detail oriented, but that's really Belichick. Brady is very loose and he's fiery and he's emotional and he's great. What I like about LaFleur is he's very smart. He's detail oriented and he's buttoned up. He doesn't let shit slide. McCarthy was fucking awful. McCarthy
Well, look what he's doing in Dallas,
McCarthy
right?
is dumb. McCarthy does not make adjustments, and McCarthy McCarthy isn't able to read defenses, and I feel like he's very personable and people like him, but I don't think he's a good football coach, and I think you're seeing that with the Dallas Cowboys. And he's not buttoned up. So penalties, dumb plays, missed assignments, just a lot of shit that doesn't fly with LaFleur. And Rodgers is very laid back, and LaFleur is kind of uptight. And I've that combination works really, really well, and I feel like that's why they've had so much success together. And also, you talk about adjustments. LaFleur, I hit LaFleur with this hard. We knew special teams was a problem for the Packers. I had been screaming it since week 3. Like, usually the Packers traditionally have a fucking amazing quarterback during my life, a somewhat decent defense, not always great, and a pitiful special teams with the exception of Desmond Howard in 1997 when they won the Super Bowl. But talk about adjustments that LaFleur made. He fired the special teams coach after the season. He should have done it midseason, but he didn't. And he hired Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach for the Raiders, and made him special teams coach. And we got Pat O'Donnell, the old punter, Pro Bowl punter for the Bears, paid him a lot of money to come to Green Bay.
Yeah.
So LaFleur makes adjustments. He doesn't fuck around. And we lost, we beat the Rams in the regular season. We would have fucking beaten them in the NFC Championship. I know it. There's no fucking way they would have won at Lambeau. But we couldn't get past the Niners because it was a nightmare matchup for us, and we lost that game really because of special teams. They didn't score an offensive touchdown. Rodgers wasn't great. The offense couldn't muster a lot of points, but that's not the reason we lost that game. The reason they lost that game was because of special teams, and people want to shit on Rodgers. He's the only reason they're ever in the playoffs. I want Packer fans to understand that when you remove Rodgers, we're going to suck so bad. We are going to be the bottom of the NFC North. We're going to be dog shit. We are nothing without him.
You guys also had no business losing that game. You had everything going for you. You had snow in Lambeau, playing a California team. You had absolutely no reason to lose. Everything was in your favor.
Second worst loss during my lifetime as a Packer fan. Number 1 was 2014 NFC Championship in Seattle, where we up 16-0 and we lost in overtime. That was and will be always number 1 worst loss. Number 2 was probably that Niners game. It was heartbreaking. It was just so, and I fucking knew it in the third quarter. I was like,
fucking knew it.
I was like, we're fucked. This comes down to special teams. We're going to fuck it up. And they blocked a field goal or blocked a punt and scored.
Yeah. It was an exciting game. If you had the 49ers like I did. So that's that, John. Covered the deadline, covered some football. You got anything else for me today?
That's it, man. Sorry about the Packers rant, but I'm clearly ready for the season.
I
feel like we touched on a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happened. Should be a fun second half or third or whatever. Yeah, man. I think that's really about it. Padres are going to be fucking lit.
Yeah, I'm watching DeGrom making his debut today.
How's he doing? I'm about to go watch.
They're losing 1-0. Obviously, it's the most baseball thing. We fucking knew it, dude. When you saw,
they talk about the run support.
They were minus 390 for this game. Minus 390 favorites, and they're down. If you took them in the first 5, I already looked at it because I was like, I might take Nationals. It was like plus 245 for the Nationals to be up by the end of the 5th inning. If you would have done that, you would have cashed.
Yeah.
All right, John. We'll be back next week. Like I said, I'll be back Saturday, and yeah, we should be good to go on Tuesday again. I like our little night time slot. It's nice.
Dude, this is amazing. It works out well. I'm really excited to show the world my my backdrop. For those of you who are wondering, yes, that is the Death Star. That's the Millennium Falcon, and right there is the. Oops.
Yes, guys, John is a virgin. That's what he was about to say. He has never had sex because he has Legos like Death Stars and some other Wookiees. His microphone is still muted, and he doesn't realize his microphone is still muted, so we can't hear.
I just want to make clear that like I have a son, so I did have sex once. So there is proof. Like there's no
Right.
way you can refute that.
Right. All your Star Wars toys are behind you. But yeah, next week.
I was trying to show the Batmobile from the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton, the greatest Batman movie ever.
We get it, John.
I'm gonna get a Blue Jasmine Lego next time, and I think you're gonna like it.
Blue Jasmine, like the princess.
No, I mean like the Woody Allen movie Blue Jasmine that you love so much.
Oh my god! Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Pete is a huge Woody Allen fan, particularly Blue Jasmine, which you can watch on Netflix. So I was going to construct a Lego of that movie in his honor because he talks about it all the time.
Appreciate it. Yes, Woody
You wouldn't
Allen,
think that from the way he looks, but
one of John's
loves Woody Allen.
One of John's favorite directors, Woody Allen, along with Roman Polanski.
That's like when they talk about Burt Kreischer as like the Fuhrer of comedy.
Yeah.
So he's talking about how racist he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I'm not going to say this. It's
right.
Totally taken out of context, but
yeah, we're going to chop it up right there.
I literally was really about to be like, I'm a fan of all those people. I'm not.
I know. All right, man. Well, good. Getting back on this episode 57, closing up on 60. We're going to have some fun stuff planned coming up here. We might rank some football teams, might do some over-under wins.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be a good idea as well. You know, baseball is going to kind of take a back seat here coming up soon. Once football starts, everybody's going to be hammering football shit. Nobody gives a shit about baseball as it is, besides me and John. But we're still going to be in it. And then obviously everyone's getting excited for football. So we'll be back next Tuesday live on these channels. Francisco Lindor just hit a home run, and now it's tied 1-1.
Is that on ESPN?
It is on, I'm not sure. I'm streaming it on the MLB.com website. So it is tied 1-1. Jacob deGrom gets 1 run of support in 6 innings. Great job, Mets. John, I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you, buddy.
Thanks hey, you know what see you next Tuesday spells, right?
No. See you next Tuesday?
Yeah. Take the first letter, like the letter C, you next Tuesday.
I gotcha.
Got it.
Nice.
All right, boys and girls. See you later.
You should do comedy.
Thank you.